Hello everyone. I hope all of you are doing alright heading into the weekend. It's a Friday night. I should be at work, but that's a vacation time built up and I took yesterday and today off. So I'm able to speak to you on normal people's hours as I work second shift, 4 to 12 a.m. Currently we're undergoing a geomagnetic storm, of which I explained the warning that they had put out here a couple of days ago. I told you about it, the 23 and 24 of June. So let's read up. A fast-moving stream of solar wind is buffeting Earth's magnetic field. The combined effects of this stream plus the CME expected to arrive today, June 24th, has prompted NOAA forecasters to declare a 30-35% chance of geomagnetic storms during the next 24 hours. High-latitude sky watchers should be alert for auroras. So we may have already suffered partial effect of this storm, as we've already seen higher magnitude earthquakes going on, and we will show them here in just a few minutes. Santa Cruz Islands in Alaska has been having some problems, seemingly to coincide along with the geomagnetic storm. At least I think it is playing some role in it. We also have an asteroid flyby. A newly discovered asteroid, 2011 MD, will pass only 7,500 miles above the Earth's surface on Monday, June 27th, at about 9:30 a.m. NASA analysts say there's no chance the space rock will strike the Earth. Nevertheless, the encounter is so close that the Earth's gravity will sharply alter the asteroid's trajectory. And I certainly hope it alters it away from the Earth and not down towards the Earth. I believe they have quoted this at about 13 meters, so it's not big, but it is an asteroid, and if it came hurtling at a great speed and hit something, a hospital, well, they could even hit a nuclear plant. They claim it can withstand all kinds of things at these plants, but who knows until you run through it. And this is it. This is the Monday, right here, June 27th. And then it will whiz by, according to them, miss us, and then boomerang out and go away. And this square is the highlight of the little picture of our friend, 2011 MD, our little friend. And this is our 2011 MD right here. I have it set for the first of the year, and then there's the Earth right here. So the first of the year, it was near, our little 13-meter buddy was near, and it just kind of paralleled us and strolled right beside us. And you can see you get into March, and we're kind of not side by side yet, but we're getting closer in the distance, and our orbit and its travel orbit, it's getting ready to get a lot closer. And you get into April, and you can see it's getting much closer. And now we're into May. You can see the two dots are getting closer and closer, and you can see your Earth distance is getting less and less. Now this was yesterday, 0.0010 AU, and they're almost, not quite, but almost indistinguishable between the two. And then we come in today and we get even closer. We're 6.0 E minus 4. Okay, but by tomorrow it'll supposedly be going away from us. Now I am going to back this up and slow it down a little bit and just go hour by hour. And now you're at 7.0 E minus 4 AU. You're still really close, but it's moving slowly until it gets back to 0.0010, and then you roll into the next day, Saturday. And now you can also notice these guys here, they had their little thing going. Now what's happening now is over here, over in here, I don't have this brought up for Ellie, but Ellie's right around over in here. And what is going on is Mercury is coming around, and these guys are moving up, and Venus and Mars are getting ready to, if they're not already catching it, they're getting ready to be in alignment with the element themselves. And that's the way it looks to me whenever I look at that. And whenever you go to 7.7, that's something else that we can look at quickly before we move on. On 7.7, Mercury and the Sun, and then Ellen is going to be over here somewhere. That is going to be in a line with the Sun and Ellen. So right now, let me get back to here. Right now, actually, what is being in line, beginning to be in line, or is already started to, is Mars and Venus are going to be in line with Ellie as Mercury moves out of this three-way. These two are still going to be in line with it over here, and this one's coming around to position itself with the Sun. And these guys here are going to move around, we're going to move around, and then come 7.7, then Mercury is going to be feeling more than likely some kind of pain. Now we don't live on those planets, so we really cannot say what is going on. We're basing it on what goes on our planet whenever we get in line with that thing, and the Sun and the Moon activity and other planets lining up. But we can probably figure and rest assured they're catching something in some way. It's affecting them harshly. Whether they will tell us, because I'm sure that they're monitoring it, what is going on with the rest of these, we may not be told, but I'm sure they're monitoring that. So let us go to the next thing, which would be possibly the Ellen effect, along with the geomagnetic storm we're currently under. We show to have some earthquake activity right here. This is Alaska. This is the mainland of Alaska up here, and they're catching a lot of threes, but it's these islands along here that are just getting pulverized all of a sudden. And you can see all over the place, you get a 2.8 24s, 2.4 24s, 2.7 24s, 3-3 24s, 3-6 24s, 2-9 24s, 3-6 24s, 3-7 24s. I may not even look at all of them, but I'm giving you the idea. 4-3 on the 24th, 4-4 on the 24th, a 3-1, a 4.2, a 4.4, a 3.1, and then we come to the big one. A 7.2 is what this shows. Now the strange thing is, when I actually learned of them last night, it would actually be early this morning, but last night to me, I saw two, and they showed two, a 7.2 and a 7.3. Now I went to the USGS and looked on theirs, and they're only showing a 7.2. Well, I don't know if they're hiding it or what, but I also read it in print in the articles. So I believe they've had two and not one. I'm going to fade out, and we're going to go over here, and this is the Japanese area, and they got a 5.6 today on the 24th. And that's a 4.7, and they did get a 5.3 yesterday, and of course they had a 6.7 2 days ago. We come down here to the region that I'm always drawn back to, and I'm the most problemous area earthquake wise that offsets and spurs things to come. And we see that the Santa Cruz Islands have had a 6.3. It also shows a 4.9 today, the 6.3. And then of course they had a 6.1 June 21st. So you have a 6.3 right there, and you come down here to New Zealand, and we know that they've had recent activities also, and then they're showing that they had a 5 on the Kermadec Island region. And of course you have Fiji, and they're currently in the 5 to 5.2 range within the last 2 days. And you stroll along this seam, and you just keep going all the way up to seam, and you see the seam showed a 6.3 there, and then it ran its way all the way along here, and the high one for Japan today is a 5.6. And then we blow back over here to Alaska, and they have the 7.2, and I did see reports of 7.3, which gave them 2, but now it's only showing 1. There's something that I don't mention enough. I may not have even mentioned it at all. I don't think I have really, actually. But not only are we undergoing every earthquake event worldwide, and there's actually flooding worldwide. We concentrate on our own country so much because we live here, but there definitely is great flooding going on in other parts of the country as well. And then we have incoming objects and the effects of those and what is to come, and we're watching all that. But we're actually on fire too. Our country is actually on fire also, and we need to realize that there's flooding and there's burning. And this is just the highlights of all the areas that are on fire. and we have a gob. We know about the Arizona area out here, right in there. It's kind of covered up by fire animation, but we know the story of there. But you'd be amazed at Florida, and you would think Florida, kind of scratch your head, but yeah, Florida has a tremendous amount of fires going on there right now. So let's, that's a different form of fear and devastation and stuff. So let's pray for those people involved in that. Now, we were talking about earthquakes, and so we got to bring our buddies into this. HAARP, I don't trust them. I don't like it. But if they're feeding real, true data into here, they would be showing that they had some activity, and I don't believe in coincidences. So if we can believe that this is real, then you can see activity on the 24th and the 23rd. So we'll even play around here for a little bit and let it track itself back. And you can see we're in the 23rd. All the way here we break. This is the break of the 23rd right here. You can see all kinds of stuff happened after the 23rd, didn't it? Now, if that's real, well, what do we know is real? Well, we know that we had Alaska earthquaked and Santa Cruz Islands earthquaked. And Japan had a mid-range 5. That's what we do know. And I'm just saying, if they put their figures out, and if this stuff is real, and they're not faking it, putting something from a different day up and saying it's from now, then they're showing they're doing something. Now, we'll talk about the Ft.Calhoun nuclear station helicopter emergency landing. We had a helicopter emergency landing supposedly. Now this place here, we got serious business with this. We better hope they're doing something to stop it and not let it be a Fukushima, because the water already got in. They done had the fire and everything whenever the initial flood happened, and now they just have like a wall, and a levee deal built up, sandbags, and their storage is outside, and it's underwater, but it has no cover to it. So that's the problem with their storage and the flooding leading to all of that escaping. Well, let's read this. Mechanical problem blame, regular event in quotations. Only days after OPPD showed off its Ft.Calhoun nuclear power station safety to KETV7 ABC so it could alleviate public fears about the plant's former technical problems, now surrounded by floodwater in a declared emergency area, a pilot and a line maintenance worker for OPPD, looking from the air for weaknesses in the plant's transmission lines, Thursday came down in the helicopter they were in, forced to make an emergency landing due to mechanical failure, they say. Reportedly, the pilot and passenger were uninjured, and it was a regular event for the pilot to take someone for observation and troubleshooting. KETV7 ABC News reported, according to Omaha Public Power District officials, the helicopter operated by PNN Flight of Marion, Iowa, made the unplanned landing about 1.5 miles south of the Ft.Calhoun nuclear power plant shortly before 1 p.m. The 2 people on board, the pilot and an OPPD employee, were not injured in the incident, officials said. It goes on. One investigator on the scene assessed that it is surprising that the 2 on board were able to simply walk away considering the conditions. And the conditions are very vague, if existent at all. Fort Calhoun Station, approximately 20 miles north of Omaha, closed to refuel in April. Parts of the grounds are under at least 2 feet of water as the swollen Missouri overflows its banks, according to CNN. OPPD has been surveying the transmission lines to look for weaknesses due to flood conditions. This is a regular event with them where they check lines and they get this company, and they've used this company for 3 to 4 years, and it's standard practice for the pilot to take an employee with them for observation and troubleshooting, said Washington County Sheriff's Department Captain Tom Lamb. Standard. Imagine the frequency of those with the flooding has increased in those flights. I haven't heard whether the no-fly zone has been lifted yet, Captain Lamb. I guess I'm behind on the news, or possibly it's only open to those cleared to fly in it like they were. I don't know. The photo of the landing appears to be not a landing, but a crash. Reporters at WOWT6 News Television, in its report, "Helicopter makes hard landing," with footage of the scene, called it a crash. The helicopter is viewed on its side. The survivors are reportedly unhurt, but were not interviewed in the WOWT report. Both of Fort Calhoun and Cooper nuclear stations are on alert, and this past weekend, President Barack the Fraud Obama declared emergencies in the Nebraska counties, where the stations are both experiencing, quote, unusual events, unquote. Unusual events. God, that guy's got away with words, doesn't he? He can just really lay it out there and be as nicely vague as anyone I've ever heard speak. And that is his forte. His slippery and forked tongue. Now, I want to take a look at the Earth browser one more time, and I want to point something out. It's for me, what I'm going to say, but it's also for you guys. You see over here on the East Coast, even though it's small, that is a 2.3 magnitude. From today, of all places, and they never have them. I mean, the frequency is just like not there. It don't happen there. It's not supposed to happen there. South Carolina. Now I wanted to point this out because my mom was bred there and raised there, grandparents and everything, before she married and came out here, had us kids. So we still have family down there, and one of my brothers and his family lives there. So whenever I say This is rare, rare, rare. Hardly never ever seen in South Carolina. I'm bringing that out because I have family that's lived there for years, and so I know about this. I know about this state here. I know plenty about it. So definitely something, when you get even a 2.3 going on over here in this region, something's not right. And I mean, we already know there's a whole bunch of somethings that's not right. So, is this real? Are they playing around? You know, it's awful crazy, and it's awful funny that they know a geomagnetic storm is supposed to be coming upon us, and the original date they gave was 23/24, but then they updated it and said it arrived today. But then you can look here and see at the beginning of, supposedly they're telling me and you and everyone else, at the beginning of the 23 is when all this stuff starts happening on their own charts. So let's kind of read into that, huh? So pray that the Lord will give us a little longer before it gets really, really bad. As we know, it's looking like it's going to be from all the things that we look at and talk about and see. Because it's all going on now, but it hadn't personally affected us over here, except for the fires and the flooding. We haven't got popped by earthquakes of a great magnitude and felt a response and effects after that. We had Alaska, but I have not been able to find anything that said there was any damage. I haven't found nothing that said that there was actual real damage from it. I saw that the people, they all took the tsunami warning very seriously, and they did seek higher elevations. I have not heard that there was any effect from any tsunami at all. I don't believe I've even heard that it actually created one. I believe it was over 30, right about 30 or maybe a little over on the depth. I have to check on that, but it was fairly deep. So that may have actually helped somehow. But I pray for all of us to be strengthened and guided and protected during all of this. And I ask that each and every one of you pray for somebody you know to wake up to what's going on if they're asleep still. Because there's plenty of people that just are still blowing this off. I think it's all normal because they don't really look into it real hard. So, that's really pretty much all of your updates that I have at this time. Just want everybody to have a good weekend. Just be aware that the planet's going through a solar storm right now, and it's not over yet, and the effects of it will probably linger for a little while, and then we're going to be eventually coming into a new moon and stuff. So every day it's just something different. There's nothing calming down actually. You catch a lull, but there seems to be a difference between a lull and a calming down. Well, that's what I have to say. Y'all can look at all this data and see what you think. But that's what we have. And for now, I'm going to close out with that. and I'm gonna let everybody get to their Friday night. Enjoy the Friday night. I'm gonna enjoy being off here for the rest of the weekend before I have to go back to work, and it is predicted to be fire next week. I've done already seen 102, 103, 104, and I guess it's just going to stair step and keep going right up. That's usually what we look forward to here in Oklahoma. Oh, and if you guys see me posting any music videos under what I like, those are some songs and performers that I just really, I like them. And I've seen a lot of concerts in my younger days, and some of them have been recent. If they're something that I really liked back in the day, I'll go again. If they're still pretty good and they're still pretty original and they can still do it, yeah, I'll go see them. I think the last couple that I put up were actually from the festival Rockin' America last weekend, or not last weekend, but it was a weekend last year, and they had just tons and tons of bands that I liked back then, of which some of them I still do. And Lita Ford has always been a lady that I thought could really do it. I mean, she has real talent. A lot of people haven't heard of her, but the quality of the video was good, and the crowd was responding good, and I liked it. And I just put stuff up there sometimes just to share it with you, because I'm out prowling around and playing music and stuff besides this. I have to take a break sometimes and unwind and let myself relax. So until the next time, keep your eyes on the skies and, don't stop looking up. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.